Since the cold weather has set in, your car battery may not be performing properly. You need one that will hold up to the unpredictable Alabama weather. Interstate Batteries has exactly what your car needs to handle the winter months still ahead. The Megatron Plus battery has a high cold cranking amp rating that makes it perfect for battling car woes in winter. With Interstate, you'll hear this and not this. Call 1-800-CRANK-IT for a dealer near you. Interstate Batteries. Outrageously dependable.
Camp Creek Auto and Truck are the people to call for emergency roadside service. 24/7, you can call 640-1558. They're staffed with skilled diesel mechanics who produce high-end mechanical results. With their extensive background in trucking and being on the road, they know exactly how important it is to get you back on the road as quickly as possible, so they're going to do just that. Call Camp Creek Auto and Truck for all your auto and truck needs. 205-640-1558.
Drivers and Danica, start your engines!
Pull those belts down tight one more time. Warm up those tires. Hit your marks and let's go racing, boys and girls. NASCAR, Indycar, Formula One, Formula E, NHRA, and local dirt track and drag strip racing talk. This is the fastest hour in radio.
Where'd you go? Where's your home? How'd you end up all alone? Can you hear me now? Hear me.
Here's your host, Steve West and Dustin Harmer, with producer John Myers.
And Matt Nicholson.
Yes, FYI, let me just, I forgot to give you all an update. There's been so much chaos this morning. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
It's fun with computers.
Yeah, I'm ready to just toss this thing. I swear this building is cursed. I've got the audio back.
It's in.
Nice.
Now it just needs to be produced.
Yes, I just got to produce it. So I promise you, I don't care what I've got going on. It's going to be done next week. It just took a while to get
There you
audio.
go.
Okay.
Welcome into the show. It is the fastest hour in radio. I
Yes.
am Steve West. That is Dustin Harmer.
Last I checked.
Yes. Your computer is not so sure what it is.
Yeah, it's not really sure.
Matt, how are you, sir?
I'm well.
All right. Apparently your plans got scuttled today. You were planning some track time.
Yeah, a little bit, but you know, one of those family deals that you can't miss come up. Hey,
Yeah.
something's got to give.
I get it. I understand.
But we're going to refocus our efforts.
All right. John Myers over there running the board as capably as he always does. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Everything good?
I guess you could call it that.
We'll go with that.
I've noticed he comes in here Saturday and he's just so unhappy.
No, not unhappy.
We need to find a way to improve John's spirit between Friday night and Saturday morning.
I'm actually excited because it's racing season
Yeah.
underway.
He's actually wearing a Daytona 500 hat.
I was going to say, did you notice my hat? And, you know, so we're here, we're doing the show all about racing, so I'm excited. But at the same time, I got to get up at dark 30 like you and drive in here.
You know, I woke up bouncing out of the bed at 2 a.m.
Yeah, but you were woken up by your dog.
Let's not talk about the dog.
That's about what time I actually got to sleep.
Oh, wow.
See, that's the difference right there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I took a power nap. Bed at 1, awake by 2. You know, what's sleep?
Yeah, really.
My boss says sleep is overrated
I'll
anyway.
sleep
So.
when I'm dead, right?
Yes.
I gotcha.
Yeah, but you're a young stud. You can handle it. I'm an old geezer. I can't.
I'm not going to touch that one.
Probably a wise move. Plenty to get to, including on-track action. We actually get to talk about that. Plenty of off-the-track news as well. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was going around doing kind of the media tour for the Daytona 500 early part of this week, and he got to talking about concussions, and somebody asked him a question about would he think about stepping away under certain circumstances. So we'll play you a little bit of audio on that just so that you don't think we're making stuff up. We're not. Danica Patrick got to talking about how she thinks she might have suffered a number of concussions, and we have had the talk here on this station about whether we thought it was the best move for Dale Earnhardt Jr. to come back. Understanding he's talented, understanding that he's the, 15, 16, 20,000 time in a row most popular driver in NASCAR. Understanding his place in the world, is this the smartest move for him to do? No less than the king, Richard Petty, checked in on that.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about all that coming up here in a
Wait.
little bit as well.
Wait. So Danica claims that she has had concussions as well?
Probably more than what you would think.
Huh.
And here's the thing. Most racers probably, if they sat down and they thought about it, would probably say much the same thing as she.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're pulling like 3 G's a race.
Yeah,
on
and
any given
when you're
race.
doing 150 to 200 miles per hour and then you hit a wall,
Yep.
Well,
that's a lot of G's.
Equals mushy brain.
Yeah.
well, if she'd keep her car off the wall, she wouldn't have a problem.
Well,
And he's
and
on it.
Here's the thing. Sometimes it's not their fault.
It's not. That's true.
Look at what Dale Jr. went through last year, what caused his concussion, what
Yeah.
seemed to be actually kind of a soft hit at Michigan,
Yeah.
and he misses 18 races.
Yep.
So, all right, we'll get into all that coming up in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Right now we get to talk about on the track.
He's so excited.
I am.
Look at him. He's bouncing.
We get to talk, by the way, we'll talk to Rowdy and Mark coming up a little bit later on about this a little bit more. But we'll start off with the ARCA Racing Series just because we can. The Austin Theriault was alternately hoping for and then dreading a restart to end the season opener, but in the end he figured he had the field covered. Turns out he didn't even have to worry about it because they never did the restarts. A late race crash in the ARCA Racing Series season opener damaged part of the safer barrier. It halted the race before it made its full 200-lap run. So Theriault, sitting in his number 52 Chevrolet, waited for word to start engines again, and he was told, start your engines, come down to victory lane. It's over. The win marked the second win for him in the ARCA Racing Series and only 3 career starts. Now that is a nice percentage rate.
Extremely.
If he can keep that up, he's a Hall of Famer for sure.
Yeah.
Good luck on keeping that one up. Justin Fontaine was in very little mood to celebrate because he was the one that got the brunt of the crash, suffered what had been termed a mild compression fracture of his L1 vertebra in his back. That just sounds painful.
Yeah.
Reports are he'll be in a back brace for the next 3 months.
True.
Be praying for you there, Justin
Yes.
Fontaine. Following Austin Theriault across the line, the official top 5, Terry Jones, Shane Lee, Dalton Sargent, and your pole sitter, Tom Hessert, making up your top 5. We're probably not going to deal with points in this one, for the most part, until
Not
next
yet.
week.
Not yet.
Right.
Not yet.
Until the next race. That said, we are going to deal with it from last night's Camping World Truck Series because this will show you just how weird this new point system that NASCAR has brought about is.
Shows
They
you just
better.
shows you just how crazy it is.
It is. It's
They better like stroke everybody at this point right now with the points, how they sit when we're going to get to that.
nuts. We're pretty much going to have to.
Because there's a lot of upset people.
Yeah, with Fox Sports, the ones that are doing the season, the first part of the season on the top 3 series.
Yeah.
They're pretty much going to have to run that little promo that they did that explains the points before every race.
Probably for the next couple of years.
Maybe. I mean, definitely throughout the course of this year, because if they don't, it's like, excuse me, repeat how this worked? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Later on Saturday after the ARCA Racing Series, the FIA Formula E Series got into their 3rd season after more than a 2-month break. They hit the streets of Buenos Aires, Argentina. Sebastian Buemi, who began the race in 3rd, wasted little time moving to the front, claimed the win by almost a 3-second advantage over Jean-Eric Verne. By the way, the only winner so far this year in the FIA Formula E Series has been Sebastian Buemi. He has swept them all.
That's pretty good.
Yes.
No doubt.
Your pole sitter, Lucas DeGrassi, finished 3rd. Nico Prost and Nelson Piquet Jr. in the top 5. Rest of your top 10, Loic Duval, Daniel Abt, Jerome D'Ambrosio, Oliver Turvey, and Jose Maria Lopez. With the win, Buemi extends his championship points lead over Lucas DeGrassi. It's now up to 29 points. 75 to 46 is the gap, to be exact. Nico Prost 3rd, 36 points. Jean-Eric Verne holds 22, and Felix Rosenqvist, Sweden, has 20. In the Manufacturers' Cup points, Renault Edams is in, control is, that's an understatement. They have 111 Manufacturers' Cup points. This is like Mercedes in Formula One. Renault has 111 points. ABT, Audi, Schaeffler Sport is next with 60. It's already a rout. Mahindra Racing holds 37, Next EV with 25, and Takeda holds 5th with 22 points. At this time, the only team that doesn't have a championship point is Panasonic Jaguar Racing. Sorry. Sunday morning, following a rain delay that pushed the Clash at Daytona back, another late race crash affected the final standings. Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski got into each other on the final lap, and Keselowski's teammate Joey Logano had the opening he needed. Goes on, claims the win, got around the crashing cars, landed the first NASCAR trophy of their speed weeks. The Ford's, by the way, 4th consecutive win in restrictor plate races. If you stop and think about that, that finally got broken on Thursday night, by the way. We'll get into that in a second.
Yeah.
Trailing Logano across the finish line in the cash grab, Kyle Busch. Alex Bowman was 3rd in the car of Dale Earnhardt Jr. I don't know why this... I should expect the fact that it's such a good car. Maybe it's the fact that Alex Bowman has such relatively little experience in the Cup Series, but to see what he's done in good equipment, why hasn't somebody picked up on him and trying to do something with him at the Cup level?
I've wondered the same thing myself.
Yeah, I mean, because you got Eric Jones that they've just yanked out of thin air, basically, so to speak. I mean,
and it's not that he's not talented,
Christopher
but
Bell. I mean, but Alex Bowman, he's got the talent to get it done.
Oh yeah,
exactly. I mean, in a part-time role. I mean, think about it. Towards the end of the year, the last 4 or 5 races, whatever it was, he was in the car by himself. But once Dale Earnhardt Jr. stepped out of the car, Alex Bowman was trading off with Jeff Gordon.
And not to mention, got the pole at Phoenix.
Yeah, got the pole at Phoenix, which got him qualified to be in this clash at Daytona.
Yeah.
Which, congratulations to Rick Hendrick and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Hey, go do it. You earned it.
Yeah.
Go run this race.
Yeah.
Yes.
In our car, in the 88 car, where you deserve to be.
Even though because you got a pole and you got to be in the race is negated by the fact that someone who didn't get a pole and got to be in the race, you're still better.
Yeah, but you know that whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd she think I was going with
yeah, I thought you were kind of going on a Danica Patrick bash again.
No,
I was like, you
no.
know the rules about the clash.
Yeah, no, I
she
know
has
the rules.
A pole.
She's
Whether
got a
you
pole.
like it or not, she's in.
Well,
You had to catch yourself on that one. I did. I saw that.
Stop it.
I saw that look.
but the likes of Daniel Suarez, that negates.
That whole thing was just such a mess.
It is a mess, but and I know we've talked about it at length, but it's just got to be put out there constantly. That's the problem. Everybody has moved on past that.
Well, and here's the thing. Under those particular terms, and I get it, Clinton Boyer didn't get a pole, but that 14 did.
Yep. So he should have been in the clash.
Yeah, in my mind, he should have been in the clash.
Yep, I agree.
We're gonna
based upon those same rules.
I'm gonna stick to that. That's gonna be my thing for this year.
There you
It's
go.
just gonna eat at me like that.
I
But
like it.
Alex Bowman, he deserved to be in the clash. He got that pole at Phoenix. He's got some talent. I too am surprised that no one has really just snagged him up and put him in.
Yeah.
That's something you could build your franchise around.
Yeah.
That's something that Roush Fenway really, really needs right now. Is somebody that they could depend on, such as
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Because what do they got over there? Nothing.
They've been wildly inconsistent with Stenhouse and Bain.
Even Petty.
Yes.
Even Petty.
Yeah, I mean,
Petty's got that second car over there.
They've got that second car. They could easily throw him in there. I
Yeah.
mean, not Chevrolet going to a different make, but
Bowman's running this year for Junior in Xfinity.
no,
Who's he running for?
Nobody.
he's got no ride.
See, that's just unreal.
Yeah.
How in the world can that be? I'm just flabbergasted.
a
I'm
point.
floored. I just don't get it.
There's a lot of things that are flabbergasting us. I mean,
Well,
people,
that's true, too.
people losing rides, people getting ousted out of rides, people who don't deserve to be in rides or in rides. It's a mess.
Yeah, I agree. Rounding out the top 5 in the clash, Danica Patrick, Kevin Harvick, so the Stewart Haas Racing teammates trying to get up there. Rest of your top 10, Brad Keselowski limped his car home in 6th. Chase Elliott, the aforementioned Daniel Suarez. Chris Buescher and Jamie McMurray round out the top 10 of the 17 cars that took the green flag. One of those cars left a lot earlier than planned. Kyle Larson came down pit road with 14 laps to go in the clash and went no further. NASCAR noted the 42 team had put 6 crew members over the wall to work on the car. The new NASCAR rules for too many men over the wall to work on a damaged car is that you park the car for the rest of the race. Now, the team is complaining. Chad Johnston said that the way he looked at it, he didn't see where 6 men were over the wall, but, well, NASCAR's not going to listen to that kind of an appeal. So Kyle Larson got parked. We wouldn't have known how good he might have been.
I'm really, really curious with these new rules that we are seeing about going behind the wall, everything else.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see when it's going to affect somebody that is extremely needed by NASCAR.
You might be thinking about, say, the 48.
I'm thinking about the 48. I'm thinking about the 88. You park Junior behind the wall because you say 6 men over the wall,
Riot.
and you can't show that.
Oh, and think about it this way. I'll throw it even one step worse.
One more. How could that get any worse than Junior?
They do that at Talladega.
Oh,
That was on the end of my tongue. I was about to say that.
you want to talk? Okay. Maybe they'll protest, but we won't see riots. Maybe we won't see riots. Let's not see riots.
No.
We're not calling for them.
Let's have a protest. but yeah. You do that at Talladega, and you are going to have a mass
Oh man.
riot.
Yeah. We might be in the wrong building. I'm just saying.
We might actually be able to get out of there a little faster than normal.
Maybe.
Because I guarantee you park Junior because of something like that at Talladega, and I guarantee you the stands will clear.
Yeah.
That's how that.
If they don't rush the NASCAR officials booth.
Did you see the? Did you see Fox News? We're in the NASCAR hall right now.
Or the track will have debris on it again, needless to say.
That's probably an understatement.
That's where it'll happen.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
They will affect the outcome of the race because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, as far as what NASCAR said when it came to the 42, they had told the teams that for the clash, that 5-minute clock was not going to be in effect for fixing damage along pit road, but all the other rules regarding crash damaged cars were going to be in effect. Larson said of the number of men over the pit wall, quote, "I didn't even know that was a rule. I guess it really doesn't matter because it's just an exhibition race anyways, but I feel bad for our new sponsor, Credit One Bank, that they didn't get to be part of the last 10 laps. It's just confusing. We know now." Crew Chief Jad Johnston told the media after the race, quote, "We didn't have too many over, as far as I can tell." He added he wanted to talk to NASCAR about how they interpreted the rule as well, but he didn't get that satisfaction.
See, that's where I'm concerned. If
you
the
have
crew
to be
chief,
able to explain why you made that call.
Yes, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you make a call, you have to say why you made the call. You can't just go out there and go, nah, park it. You can't do that.
Right. Yeah.
You have to be able to explain to the crew chief. And if the crew chief is asking you for an explanation, it's I want to see what you're talking about.
Sure.
So 2, we don't do it again.
Right.
But the thing that really stands out about those quotes is the quote from Larson himself when he says, I guess it doesn't really matter because it's just an exhibition race anyways.
Yeah.
You tell me how you're going to respond when it's the season and you've got sponsors on the car and now you're getting parked because of something that can't be explained.
The very next sentence is where he apologizes to Credit
He
One
does.
Bank.
He does. He apologizes, but look.
But NASCAR's never going to do that.
No, of course not. But that's the thing. Now you've got these sponsors that are going to be affected by these rule changes, and the teams are asking for an explanation, and NASCAR says, no.
Yeah. No, you better be able to back it up.
That's where you're going to start having sponsorship issues.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Following the clash and track cleanup, qualifying for the front row for this weekend's Daytona 500 took place. It was apparent that both Joe Gibbs Racing and Hendrick Motorsports going to continue their restrictor plate performance. Team Penske would also be a contender, but in the end, it wasn't much of a shock. Chase Elliott claims the pole for the Great American Race, makes him 2 for 2 in his short career in what is now the Monster Energy Cup Series. Joining him on the front row is Hendrick Motorsports teammate Dale Earnhardt Jr. Rest of the field was filled out by the Can-Am duels that took place Thursday night. In race 1, the man who led the field to the green took the checkered flag. Chase Elliott pretty much stayed out front all race, just in the right place at the right time. In the second race, it appeared that might be the same kind of a story. Dale Earnhardt Jr. led the field to the green, but with a lap and a half left, he was set up by a 4-car run of Denny Hamlin, Austin Dillon, Kurt Busch, and Clint Boyer. And by the way, got home, and I got home just in time to see that second race. And as I turned on the TV and finally got settled in, they showed that 14 car with a Ford front end. Man, that just looks weird. That's going to take some getting used to.
Harvick's car, too.
Well, it affected him.
It's just going to take some time to get used to. It really is.
We sat there watching qualifying last weekend.
You see it in pictures, and we looked at it in qualifying and all that, but it was just, for some reason, it was so stark Thursday night. I don't know why it stuck out more then than it did Sunday. I'm not sure. I can't explain that.
Same thing with me with the 4, 41, and 10 car.
Yeah.
Same difference. You're going, it's like you would say it's like when a dog hears a crazy noise and they turn their head sideways, like, what is that?
Yeah.
That's the reaction you have. Like, that's not right.
But it was so weird to think about it. It just was. But
that's why I'm going through.
There it is.
I'm going through the issues myself. That's why I'm wearing Ford shirts. I'm trying to get used to this.
I'm not willing to go that far just yet.
No.
On the final lap, Dillon couldn't hold off the Stewart-Haas teammates Busch and Boyer, but even that pair didn't have enough for Hamlin. He went on to claim the win. The bigger story was which two drivers of the 42 wasn't going to make the Sunday Daytona 500. Turns out that those two are Timmy Hill and Reed Sorensen. The guys that did make it in, Corey LaJoie and the 39-year-old Canadian, DJ Kennington, get into the show. Kennington's only the 8th Canadian all-time to make it into the Daytona 500. Congratulations to him.
Oh, yeah.
And he actually legitimately raced his way in. He was able on that last lap coming off of turn 4, cemented that because he needed to get around Elliott Sadler, and he stuck his nose right in the middle right there in that middle lane of 3, and he was able to get around Elliott Sadler. And Elliott Sadler got in on speed. So, yeah, it's just amazing.
It's like you get out of the car and you're like, did we make it?
Yeah.
We made it?
Yeah. So if you think about it, for the first time ever, the entirety of North America is going to be represented in the Daytona 500.
Yeah, and the deal with Corey LaJoie getting in, I didn't like that move. He pretty much
he booted him.
Yeah, he booted him big time.
He booted him. But here's the thing, with all due respect to Reed Sorensen, did that team have enough to have a good backup car for this Sunday?
He had a backup car in the trailer.
Yeah, but was it a good one?
You got a point on that one too. But
yeah, it's funny though. Sometimes that backup car is better than the original.
Sometimes, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Last night, if you're listening to the live edition of the show on Saturday mornings, was the season-opening NextEra Energy Resources 250 for the Camping World Truck Series. If you missed the finish, you missed a wild one. As a rookie, ends up claiming the win. Kaz Gralla, he's been running on and off in the Camping World Truck Series, got a few races under his belt, so he's a familiar name, but he's never had a full-time ride until this season. The patience of his owner paid off. He becomes the youngest winner in a NASCAR National Touring season at Daytona. He's just over 18 years old, but he had a little help. It appears that it was Matt Crafton's race to lose, the two-time series champion leading the 100-lap race, when he got turned sideways, beginning a wild ride that included several spins and a flip. And the 88 Toyota Tundra, while it did land on its wheels, Crafton was rattled, but he was uninjured and walked away. Speaks to the safety of these cars,
Yes,
period.
definitely.
And by the end of the 32 trucks that started the race, 13 finished. So who led more laps? The pace car, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt Crafton didn't flip. He leapfrogged.
That's also true. Go look at the replay.
I
It's
watched the
nuts.
video, and it's so weird just how exactly perfect it was that it went roof to roof, just as if it rolled over top of the other truck, just perfectly, and landed on 4 wheels.
It's unreal. Trailing Kaz Gralla across the finish line, Austin Wayne Self, John Hunter Nemechek, and his dad, Joe. Both of them getting top 5s. Rest of your top 10, Regan Smith. Nice to see him with a top 10 finish. Scott Legacy Jr., Christopher Bell, J.J. Yaley, and Matt Snyder in there. So with the new points system, here's where we start to get wonderfully confusing. Now, Kaz Gralla is your points leader. He's got 56.
Everybody break out your migraine medicine.
Yeah. I typed it, and it gave me a migraine.
I'm glad I didn't type it.
Okay, so Kaz Gralla is your points leader with 56. 14 points up on a guy who didn't even get a top 10 result. Johnny Sauter's second place in points. There's your bonuses.
Yep.
Chase Briscoe, also not a top 10 finisher, is third, 17 points behind. Ben Rhodes, another non-top 10 finisher, is in fourth, down 18. There's Joe Nemechek. He's 20 back, despite a top 10 finish. Austin Wayne Self, who finished second, is sixth in points, tied with Timothy Peters, who didn't get a top 10.
I'm lost already.
Yeah. John Hunter Nemechek with a top 5 finish, fourth place finish, excuse me. He's in 8th place in points, 22 back.
Wait, did you say where Kaz Gralla is?
He is the leader.
Okay, he's the leader.
He's got 56 points.
Okay.
So he got bonus points for your stage finishes.
Okay.
I
I was about to say, because if the winner wasn't at the top, just based off of one race, there's a problem.
Exactly.
It's
but
great
here's
to bring.
the thing.
It's great to bring home.
That is possible to do.
It is.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying. You know, being the one in victory lane, going, our Toyota Tundra was great today, and we won the race, but we dropped 5 spots in the points. I ain't figured out.
I mean, you think about it. You know, for example, let's use the Daytona 500 as the example. If you finish first in the end of stage 1, first at the end of stage 2, that's 20 bonus points. You finish, say, fourth, you're probably the points leader, but the guy who won the race, you know, I don't. This whole thing is nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt all season long.
It is.
Realistically, if Dustin won stage 1 and stage 2, but yet finished 40th in a last lap crash,
Yeah.
and I won
He's still got 21 points on the day.
still got 21 points on the day.
You win, you got 40.
I got 40. Okay. If he won stage 1 and stage 2, finished 3rd. That's 2020, 30.
30, let's see. Second place is 35.
Welcome to math
Yeah,
early in
second
the
place is
morning with the
35,
Fastest
so
Hour
third
Radio.
place would be 34. So that's
34,
54 points.
54
You
points.
won, you got 40.
I won the race. I got 40.
And he's 14 points ahead of you.
Yeah, but I don't finish in the top 10 of either stage.
Hey, guys!
Yeah, that could happen.
Hey, I know the truck is dead, but you guys need to bring it to victory lane.
Yeah.
That would be the championship.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. So that started off this racing weekend. The rest of the racing weekend kicks off later today. Got the Power Shares QQQ 300. I didn't make that up. NASCAR did.
That's not triple Q?
Yeah, it may be. I don't know. But that's the
Quick.
way that it was printed was QQQ.
I got it.
We can go triple Q. I don't care.
Power shares, quick 300.
Sure. NASCAR Xfinity Series. That's today. Fox Sports 1 MRN Radio. Coverage begins 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central Time. Sunday, the Daytona 500 airs on the Fox Network, and MRN Radio begins 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central Time. And the NHRA gets race number 2 for them underway. The NHRA Arizona Nationals Finals will get underway on Fox Sports 1 Sunday evening, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central Time. We're awake now.
Woo.
Good morning.
Thank you for the wake-up call.
That makes 3 out of 4 of us.
Yeah. Wow.
I was awake already.
When we come back, we'll talk about some cars that'll be drifting to the back of the field,
Yes.
and we'll give our predictions for the Daytona 500.
I'm extremely curious about this.
And then we'll talk about
because of him.
We'll talk about concussions here as well.
Just because of me.
Yep.
Yeah, he says he's got some sort of a plan.
Yeah, he said he Facebook messaged me. He says I didn't pick Danica. Okay.
All right,
And
congratulations.
his next words were, thank God.
Is that? I
Yes.
mean, is that supposed to be a credit?
No.
Well, he said he's going to the bow tie, but not
Okay.
Danica.
All right.
So I'm curious.
Phone lines are open for you, 941-1011, toll-free 866-551-9933. Feel free to call in.
Yeah.
Let us know your feelings. We are just now underway on the Fastest Hour in radio.
You're listening to the fastest hour in radio on Superstation 101.
Camp Creek Auto and Truck are the people to call for emergency roadside service. 24/7, you can call 640-1558. They're staffed with skilled diesel mechanics who produce high-end mechanical results. With their extensive background in trucking and being on the road, they know exactly how important it is to get you back on the road as quickly as possible, so they're going to do just that. Call Camp Creek Auto and Truck for all your auto and truck needs. 205-640-1558.
Winners don't believe in shortcuts. From championship NASCAR teams to Super Bowl champions, winners expect high performance and hard work to be the best. And at Interstate Battery, we don't scrimp on our processes because we believe in being the best. We provide proven quality with excellent service and customized inventories. We have every battery for every need. We are the best. We are the technician's choice, NASCAR's go-to brand, and we are voted best battery again and again. We are taking first. Call 1-800-CRANK-IT or a dealer near you. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable.
I'm Cruz Skinner, the driver of the number 11 Skinner Motorsports Dirt Late Model, and you're listening to the fastest hour in radio on Superstation 101 WYDE.
Hey, welcome back in. You are listening to the fastest hour in radio here, Superstation 101 WYDE. This is out of your collection.
It is. This is Skillet Psycho. That's kind of how we feel when we talk about the points right now in any of the series of NASCAR.
I feel like I'm going to be in a rubber-padded room bouncing off the walls.
Yes.
Boing, boing,
And no, I'm not talking about the upcoming dodgeball that we're talking about here.
Oh, I'm so amped for that, man.
Man, I should have got in on that
I'm
one.
still a little upset that I went 4th round. he texted me, and then you called me.
Yeah, I ended up calling you later, but the funny thing was I was actually doing other things So I didn't even realize that the draft
Yeah.
was going on. And all of a sudden, I'm like, you got drafted. And Matt's going. Matt's the one out of all of us that
Yeah.
is listening.
He's
He goes,
listening.
you just got drafted. And I went, huh? Oh, gosh, dodgeball. Yeah, forgot.
Yeah.
March 16th, we're going to be pairing off. It's Jim, Jeff, and Russell, the guys. Dustin and myself. And Scott Beeson on one team. And it's going to be Andrew.
Wait, we got Russell?
Yes, we do.
Oh, man.
No, here's the thing. What we have is a blocker.
Good. Russell. Russell P. Wall.
Russell even admits.
You just stay right in front of
He'll
me,
be
man,
blocker.
and I will be launching artillery, man.
So you're changing the P to a D.
He is
Russell D. Wall.
Yes.
He is the wall.
Let's see. On the other team is Andrew and Jessica.
They don't matter. They're going down.
Big Dave.
They're going down.
Michael Hart, Mickey Bell, and I'm missing some. Oh, Joe Lockett.
Joe Lockett, yeah.
Wait. I get to throw a dodgeball at Michael Hart?
When I heard about the fact that I was on the, with all due respect, and I love Michael Hart is a great friend of mine. He and I have pretty much been here from day one together. He has 1 week of experience at Crawford Broadcasting more than me. 1 week. But as soon as I heard that I was on the other team from Michael Hart, I went, oh, Michael's a dead man walking.
I can see it now. I'm going to go to throw a ball at him, and he's going to go, Dustin! Where's Joe Lockett?
Well, okay. All right. Stop and think about this, because here within Crawford Broadcasting, because, you know, I've made no bones about the fact that I do some work for our sister station, 93.7 WDJC.
Yeah.
So Thursday, the 16th, we here at 101, we're going to be down playing dodgeball on trampolines, which, you know, we're going to be the walking wounded after that.
Who? I won't be.
I'm old. I've got a bad back. Michael's got bad knees. Jessica will break a foot by looking at it wrong. You know, I mean, I'm sorry, Jessica, but it's true.
She's going to make you eat a dodgeball.
She probably will, but you know what?
Hey, Steve West!
Yeah. So, I mean, we're talking about a bunch of old people that are playing dodgeball, okay?
Yeah.
By and large. Friday, WDJC has to be out at Winter Jam, which, you know, 10 bands for only $10 at the door, and everybody at WDJC is out there, and I'm anticipating myself and Russell P. Wall with black eyes and bruises.
Russell
And then-
P. Wall's going to come in a wheelchair.
Yeah, and then Sunday or Saturday is the day that we're going to be down with Joey Jatina at the Audubon Speedway.
I'm going to be,
That's a 3-day stretch right there that I have to admit I'm kind of not looking forward to.
right now, on air, on Facebook Live, you cannot use the fact that you're beaten and bruised as why you didn't do well at the Autobahn.
Oh, no, I will probably suck just because I suck.
I tell you how you follow up. We go to the phone. Mike in Oxford has a pick for you.
We will, yeah. As soon as we get to picks, hang on for us, Mike. We'll do that here in just a second. But yeah, that's going to be a busy 3-day stretch. It's going to be
my 3
it's going to be
days-
fun though.
My 3
It's
days
gonna be
is
fun.
going to be interesting
Okay, tell us
because
about it.
we've got dodgeball.
Yes,
Of course, then it's March 17th.
that's St. Patrick's Day.
That's right. That's my holiday.
Yeah.
And then the next
And then
day
the
is
Autobahn.
Autobahn.
Yeah,
And you want to tell us where you're going to be March 17th?
No, I do not.
you're friends with Dustin on Facebook. You already know.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
torn right now. There's two places.
Let's get
Go,
back
let's
into
go.
how we're doing here. Just before the Daytona 500 begins on Sunday, 3 cars going to drift to the back of the field. 3 failed post-race height inspection. They were too low, and that's a no-no at restrictor plate tracks for NASCAR.
Yes.
So Martin Truex Jr., Chris Buescher, and A.J. Allmendinger all are going to lose their respective starting positions, got to fade to the back of the 40-car pack to begin the race. And here's the thing. Allmendinger would have started 10th. Truex would have started 13th. Buescher, 32nd. So Furniture Row Racing, Truex, and the JTG Dougherty pair of Allmendinger and Buescher get off to a really odd start. Also going to the back of the pack, Jimmy Johnson. He would have started 26th, but he got enough damage during his duel that the team decided to go to the backup number 48. So all of them have to go to the back of the field. All right, so with that said, does that alter your picks any, Dustin?
I'm going to go last.
You're going to go last.
I'm going to go last.
All right. You said that you had a pick.
Yes.
Matt Nicholson, what is it?
I've been waiting for this for 2 days now.
Yeah.
Well, considering I watched every lap of the duels, done some careful studying.
He's done studying, Steve.
Yeah, I did study.
He did some studying.
The guy I'm picking is going to win his second 500.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going with the number 1
Oh,
car.
Jamie McMurray.
Jamie Mack?
Murray.
Wow.
That's a call out of left field. I wasn't expecting a Chip Ganassi racing car.
I was not thinking of that either.
No.
Yep.
That's an impressive pick.
Okay.
All right. John, got any thoughts on this?
Not really.
I thought you had a pick, man.
Well, my pick would have been Tony Stewart, but I can't pick him because he's.
Well, you got to
no
pick
longer
somebody.
there. I'll go with Junior Truex.
Oh, okay. There we go. Okay.
Which
He's-
is not a bad call.
He's going
Joe
to be
Gibbs Racing
mad
is good.
He
at
was
being
what?
forced to the back, so he's going to rally and come to the front and win.
You can
face
go
it.
from the back to the
Yeah.
front and win.
Easy.
Heck, you can go from the
Of
back
course.
to the front in about 5 laps.
Of
with a
course,
restrictor plate
the
track.
lowest starting position to win the Daytona 500 thus far has been 38th.
Yeah.
38th. And that was Matt Kenseth.
Yeah. Well, it may have, and I don't know exactly how it's going to line up with all these guys going to the back, so he may not be in quite 38th. We'll see. All right. So with that said, okay, so it's up to me since you're going last. Man, Ford's had such good luck here lately at restrictor plate tracks.
Yeah,
It's-
I can't choose the blue oval. I'm sorry.
I'm not necessarily rooting for the blue oval, but there's a part of me that thinks that just maybe, Stewart Haas Racing might be able to pull one out.
Which of the 4 are you going with?
3.
3.
Because no, I'm not picking her.
Darn! Let's go see if I can talk him into it.
I'm actually going to pull a slight upset here. I'm going to go Kurt Busch.
Really? I thought you were going to go Harvick.
Okay.
No, I don't think that would be that big of an upset. I think Harvick is
Yeah.
good enough there. Kurt Busch is, he's kind of up and down. You don't really know what to expect, but to me, he's got a good car. He's solid. I'm going to go there. But it wouldn't surprise me if Junior won it. All right, go.
Okay. So I have watched 0 of the duels. I watched qualifying some of it. I didn't watch any of the Clash. I've done 0 studying. And
you're picking the 10.
Therefore,
I'm going to go with a Toyota.
okay.
Not Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with somebody that's kind of been on the radar the entire time, and I think he's going to go back to back, and that is
Denny Hamlin.
the 11 of Denny Hamlin.
All right. With that said, let's go to Mike in Oxford, who wants in on these picks for the Daytona 500.
Mike.
What's up, Mike?
Hey, bud. Man, I love your show, guys.
Appreciate it so much.
Thanks, bud.
Gives me a reason to get up early.
Well, that's a good thing. We like that. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm out here dressed like royalty in the man cave. I got my royal purple Matt Nicholson number 10 shirt on.
I just got mine.
Is that your pick for the Daytona 500?
No, sir.
Hey.
I'm going with Junior, Dale Jr.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up there. It really wouldn't. I mean,
Y'all don't shoot me down on that.
No,
At least I
I'm not,
didn't
No
pick
way.
Danica. At least I didn't pick Danica.
That's
So
true.
we got a nice
See,
back
because
on
Mike,
all
we would have phone interference if you picked to 10.
yeah. Well, here's the thing: if you watch that second Clash, you understand something. Dale Earnhardt Jr. knows how to work a draft so well that once he gets out front, everybody is just content to follow him.
Yep.
And it
Yes,
wouldn't
sir.
surprise me at all if he was able to put that into a win. All he's got to do is just avoid what he ended up doing at the end of the Clash.
Yep.
He's got to make sure that he doesn't get shoved out there so far that he ends up getting freight trained and everyone just leaves him behind and he can't come back from it.
Yeah.
But good God, he's such a talented driver at a restrictor plate track. You can't overlook him.
The problem that you face with the fact of everybody following the 88 is the fact that no one wants to be that guy.
Exactly.
Nobody wants
nobody's
to
willing
be
to step out of line.
that guy that's going to dethrone Dale Jr. or any of that nature
Yeah.
when it comes to the fan base.
So,
they
yeah.
don't.
I'll
They
be
will be
that guy.
hated forever.
I'll be that guy.
You
wanna
want to be that guy? Well, you would be that guy if you were on the track.
He's not riding with us out to Talladega, is he?
Actually, he probably is.
Hey, I like what y'all said about if they penalize Junior at Talladega,
Oh,
it
good
would be a
grief.
disaster.
We might need to wear Kevlar. I'm
Hey,
just saying.
I've got some at the
I would-
house. I'll bring it.
Okay, I need it.
Yeah, I would be able to hear the cacophony from where I live.
I bet
Yeah.
you could too. Absolutely.
That makes 2 of us.
Yep.
Everybody
absolutely.
will think that an earthquake happened or something,
Oh,
and
good
it's
grief.
not. It's the fact of all of Junior Nation just cursed
Yeah,
at Talladega
absolutely.
Superspeedway.
And started pounding and stomping and just basically, it'd be ugly.
Yes,
Mike, appreciate
Yeah,
it, man.
like Matt said, it'd be a gray out.
Yeah, probably right. Matt,
Yeah.
thanks so much. We appreciate it, brother.
Mike.
Mike,
All
I'm
right,
sorry.
man. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you so much. I'm so.
Mike,
I'm
Matt.
staring at Matt, and then I turn around and I'm trying to say thank you to Mike.
Yeah.
So Danica, I mean Matt. You do. Oh, you do drive
really?
a 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say he drives a 10.
That's right. See.
Yeah, but who had the 10 first?
She did.
Did she really? Okay.
She did.
Well, then, I'm not going to say.
Be like Pat.
Well,
I want to
I
be
have-
like Danica.
I have reasons for picking that number.
Oh.
Yep.
We never really
Related to
got into that.
Danica?
No.
Okay.
Well, that's good then.
And what are those reasons?
The reasons I picked the number 10, that's the month my wife and I got married.
Okay.
Aw.
What
That's
a way
the-
to remember.
That's the month my niece was born.
Okay.
Okay.
That is the month that I bought this car in that I'm driving now. And long story short, the month of October is normally a good month for me.
Okay.
But
I
that's
like
the
his
reason I
reasoning.
picked. That's the reason I picked 10.
I like his reasoning.
I could go with that.
Yeah.
The wife at home just went, "Aw."
Yeah, really. Valentine's
He doesn't care.
She's probably still asleep, honestly. But she'll
Valentine's Day
hear
was
it.
a week and a half ago. Right?
Yeah.
You working on next year?
Yeah, really.
Next.
I got you. Got some controversy that came about when the new Monster Energy Cup girls showed up on camera for the first time after last weekend's clash at Daytona. Some people watching felt as though the girls might be a little too scantily clad, let's say. But nothing is going to be changed, according to Monster Vice President of Sports Marketing Mitch Covington told ESPN on Wednesday of this week that the outfits are all part of what the company is going to do at each facility through 2017. Said, quote, Monster has always been about racing and girls. That won't change. When we first started in NASCAR with Robbie Gordon in 2009, our models today were conservatively dressed compared to what they had on back then. They're taking the place, by the way, of the Sprint girls who wore fire suits in their appearances. Monster Energy girls are wearing long pants, which is required to be along pit road or in the garage area, but their tops are, let's just say they're low cut.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing except for, some people feel that NASCAR is this family.
I mean, we've been out to Barber Motorsports Park, and the Continental Tire girls
And it's been
wear about the same.
10 times worse.
Actually,
I've seen
Yeah,
worse.
it's been worse than that.
yeah. Covington also notes that said NASCAR has not come to him with any complaints or requests to change the outfits, and noted that in the past, trophy girls in NASCAR were known to wear bathing suits, and at some tracks they were bikinis.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Look back in the past.
Go look at pictures from the late 60s and 70s.
Early 70s, exactly.
Yeah, it's 1,000 times worse than what this is
No,
now.
but see, here's the problem. Nobody who actually was against this paid attention then.
There you go.
Now they're paying attention
Yep.
because they want to have their
Yeah.
opinion out there. that
Well,
they can
yeah,
really
now
keep to
we're paying
themselves.
attention because we
Yeah.
are the United States of the offended.
That's right.
Well, not only that, but I mean, you look at where NASCAR's been. I mean, back in the day, it was all about, well, forgive the term, rednecks, getting
Sure.
together, having
Yeah.
fun, blowing off steam, watching
Well,
the
yeah,
race.
I mean, think about where
Today,
NASCAR got its start. It
the-
was a southeastern sport.
Exactly. But my point is, that was then. Today, they're trying to go into a more family-oriented atmosphere
In some ways.
in a lot of ways.
But in this case, everything's covered. You know?
Yeah.
There's
Well, I'm
suggestion.
not-
There's no doubt about it. There's
No,
suggestion. But
Don't get me wrong. I'm a red-blooded male. I mean,
yeah.
they're fine. But I'm just saying that
Yeah.
that's where they're trying to go. And some of the naysayers are
They're-
saying,
yeah,
hey, it's
exactly.
not that
Because it's
family-oriented.
that
again,
small
it's
group out there that goes, I don't like that. You need to change it.
Yeah, we are the United
That's
States
what I
of
was
the
about-
offended, and
this is
therefore
true.
we have
That's
to,
what I was about
if
to
we
s-
don't like it,
yeah.
we have to go down that
That's
road.
what I was about to say in channeling my inner Dustin here. Did a snowflake get offended?
Sure. Well, do us all a favor. Go melt somewhere.
Yeah, go melt. Exactly.
Find some place to melt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's get into this conversation about the concussion deal.
Yeah.
NASCAR kicked off, obviously, the 2017 season. We know the Talladega favorite, Dale Earnhardt Jr., but he has been making the media rounds. He was making the media rounds earlier this week, visiting all kinds of sports talk radio shows and TV shows. He's been talking about what kept him out of the number 88 for fully half of the 2016 Cup season, the concussion he suffered at Michigan, where he hit the outside wall. Obviously, he's successful in his Cup Series in his career. He has not done the one thing that his noted father did 7 times, that's win a championship. Some were wondering, and we talked about it on this show, all 4 of us talked about whether we felt like this was the best move for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Does this make the best sense for him to come back after missing that many races, which means to me it was a serious concussion? Does it make sense for his long-term future health to come back to race again? And I get it. You love the racing.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the last one to tell you to stop doing what you love to do, but it still does make me wonder for your long-term health, for the woman that you just married, does it make sense for you to come back?
Right.
He made a comment about that this week as well.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
I've heard some of it.
When he was asked, if you won a championship, would you be done?
Now that you mention that, do me a favor and play Dale Earnhardt Jr. Retire.
You would consider going out on top if you won a championship. Why would you say that?
Yeah. 42. I'll be 43 in October. If I won the championship this year, it'd be hard not to call it a career. I don't know why else I would come back to race other than for the fans. I would have done everything that I had wanted to accomplish, so I'd have to find different means of motivation to come back. I'm sure I could find it. We got a lot of great fans out there who'd love to see us continue to race, and they hate when we ever mention the retirement word. So it'd be hard to make that decision, but it'd be tough not to consider. So going out on top is probably the best way to do it.
I got to admit, he would have accomplished everything that he wanted to do at that point in time. He won a championship. He's got a couple of Daytona 500s. Why wouldn't you go ahead and take off?
I can't disagree
Nico
with what he
Rosberg,
said.
hey, see ya. Won my championship. I'm out.
Yeah, that was weird, though.
Oh, yeah, in Florida, there's no doubt about it when Nico Rosberg did it, and it would be kind of a shock to say, wow, you're on top. Why wouldn't you want to continue that? But, again, for
It's
the
the best way to
long-term
go
health,
out.
for the long-term health, why wouldn't you want to do it, right?
Yes.
That was on SportsCenter. He also was on the Dan Patrick syndicated radio show, said effectively the exact same thing. So he said it on more than one occasion this week. So it is in the back of his mind.
Do you think, and Matt and John, get in on this too, do you think that based on the fact of what he's got now, let's say he doesn't win a championship. Let's say Junior doesn't win a championship and has to retire. Do you think that haunts him as Junior because of, and I know I'm going to bring this up, but because of his dad? Or is that going to be, because everybody holds him to a higher level because of his dad.
Because of his name.
Yep. Because of his name. He should be, just like that and everything else.
He admitted on more than one occasion this past week that last name, his name, Dale Earnhardt Jr., yes, but Dale Earnhardt opened up some doors for him. But I think in a lot of ways it's also put some undue expectations on him.
It has. And we've talked about it at length on this show.
I agree.
To the fact that it has put way too much stress on him.
Yeah.
But if he is to go out and he doesn't go out with a championship, he's going to have that asterisk next to his name, just like Mark Martin.
Sure.
As he's going to make the Hall of Fame.
All right.
one day.
So let's ask this question. All right.
Okay.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. retires conceivably with no championship. Where does he fit in the pantheon of best drivers to never win one?
That's kind of tough.
He's there.
He's up there.
It's got to be in the conversation. Mark Martin has to be in the conversation.
Mark Martin's going to be at the top of my list. He's been there so close so many times.
Right.
I say if you look at that list, there's really not a 1 and 2. I would say 1A and 1B.
Okay. I can see that.
Right behind Mark Martin.
Yeah.
For the simple fact of he has those 2 back then Busch Series championships.
Yeah.
He has those 500s. It's 1A and 1B with me.
Yeah.
The only caveat that he has that Mark doesn't have is a Daytona 500 win.
Yeah, twice over.
Yeah.
Yep. The King, Richard Petty, had some thoughts on it as well, and it kind of goes back to what we were talking about, questioning whether this was the right thing for him to do. He showed up on ESPN earlier this week, and Richard
Dale's going to be
Petty.
back this weekend. You made some headlines a few weeks ago when you said you were disappointed. You were hoping he would just kind of walk away after all of it. He came back with some comments of his own. Why did you think that he should have just walked away?
Well, he's accomplished about everything except win a championship.
Right.
And maybe that's deep down in his mind that he's got to do that to make a good career. He's got a heck of a career of what he's already done. He's accomplished everything except winning a championship. And, it's one of those deals where he's had a couple of concussions anyway.
Yeah.
And I get concerned about the next one might be too much. And but he went 6 months. The doctors went with him. He done everything they're supposed to do, and they check his head every once in a while like this to make sure everything's all right. And they say he's 100%. So I'm pulling for him from that standpoint.
And I get it. and I'm pulling for him.
Yeah.
And again, I said it with Mike on the phone. It wouldn't surprise me if he finds himself in victory lane this weekend. But I still question kind of the sanity, if you will, of going out there and risking this again.
Yeah, you can't.
I'm siding with the King on this one. I want to see him win the championship, but if he doesn't do it this year, I don't think he's coming back next year. If he does, he shouldn't.
As it is, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s contract with Hendrick Motorsports is up at the end of this season. The two sides probably have likely talked about keeping Junior in the fold. Let's face it, the dude is, 15, 16, 18, 5,000 times most popular driver in a row?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something like that.
It's easy for him to get sponsorship.
Oh, yeah.
Being the most popular driver out there, so it wouldn't take much to bring him back into the fold.
Mm-hmm.
Question is whether he really wants to, whether he feels that it is the right thing for him to do. Maybe they don't talk about it until after the season.
More than likely.
I think it's already been discussed. I'm
sure it has been talked about,
No,
but
I'm
as far
talking
as
as in-
putting ink to paper,
I'm wondering
or
if there's
not
been a
making that official decision.
conversation where, after last season, maybe during this off season, it was, I just want to go out one more year and try it.
Maybe so.
And maybe
might be it.
that's it.
I think that's the reason why
One and done.
Hendrick signed William Byron. Something's telling me that.
Could be there.
Something's telling
He's
me
got
that.
Bowman, too.
He's got Bowman
You
sitting
got
off in the wings.
Bowman sitting there waiting. You got Byron sitting there coming up through the ladder.
Yeah.
If he has a season like he had in trucks last year, this year,
It's going to be hard not to pull Byron
there you
up.
go. There you go.
Yeah. And again, you mentioned it, Bowman sitting out there as well.
Yep.
Since we're on the topic of discussions, Stewart House Racing driver Danica Patrick said that she feels that she's probably had about a dozen concussions during her own career crossing from IndyCar into NASCAR. Here's what she had to say about that.
When he said something about having 12 concussions, I was like, oh, I'm sure I've had 12 concussions, you know? It is a little bit thought-provoking is what I would say for sure, because, while we're not football players, we don't get, the repeated hits like in succession over a short amount of time. But, it's rough in the car, and, the hits are probably singularly bigger, maybe. I don't actually know. I'd be assuming that. I'm just assuming that going 200 miles an hour, 150 miles an hour is got to be a fairly big hit compared to running. But then again, we have a lot of protective layers, whether it be safer barriers, the collapsible items on the car that all are meant to take the inertia, and then, all the safety equipment that we have from the helmet and Hans to the belts. But it's makes you think, for sure. Makes you pay attention to yourself, and I think that there's nothing better than having somebody like Dale Jr. going so far as to get out of the car for as long as he did, and saying, hey, I have a problem, because it makes it more available for everyone else. Now, I don't think anyone else has as much luxury sponsorship-wise as Dale Jr. probably does to be able to just get out of the car like that. But it also is coming from a big-name driver that is setting the standard for well-being, and it's admirable for sure. I think that we like to sweep it all under the rug as drivers, like we feel fine, nothing's wrong. But it's our life, and if there was someone that told me, or I would hope any other driver, if you have another wreck, you could have a serious problem, they would be out. Like, I would be out, because I love what I do, but I love lots of other things, and I also love life, and I'm too young to have it be over. So it was a good lesson, I think, for a lot of people, and a good education. And just like in that movie Concussion, which is something that we watched after it happened, maybe there'll be some more tests and things run to be able to test better and know more about our concussions and our symptoms.
Like, you know what I got out of that for sure?
Danica is definitely a millennial.
But, did she say
All right.
anything of value?
For sure.
She did. First of all, she mentioned how the age, how young she is. She's 34 compared to Junior, who's 42. At some point in time, your body slows down with its ability to recuperate.
It does.
Okay? And if she thinks that she's had more than a dozen concussions, the but ums and the uhs and the likes and the nos probably kind of, to me, is something of a factor.
That's possible.
But,
sure.
We're scientific right here on the Fastest Hour.
Right,
Radio.
yeah, exactly.
She came off to me as
The more ums and uhs
a
you
valley
use.
girl kind of thing.
The basics of it, though, I think are, if you can get through all of that, she's got the point of. she's young enough to understand. I've had, likely, a number of concussions during my career.
Right.
If somebody looked at me and said, this one is a very serious one, she would step away.
And that's exactly what last year was for Junior. When you push the envelope too far, it's gonna be pushed way too far.
Yeah.
And like the King said, that next one might be the one.
Maybe. And
you keep playing with fire, you're going to get burned.
Yeah. We have not seen it yet out of NASCAR drivers, but we have seen and heard of more than one NFL football player who has unfortunately taken their own life just because of the number of hits that they took over the course of their life. Mike Webster, Junior Seau, just a couple of them.
Yeah.
You know, it's I hate to say it, but it may only be a matter of time before we hear of a NASCAR driver that does it because of that. And I hate that. It sucks.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it may be the truth.
Yeah, that's right.
And this is the bad part about it. We love racing. We love talking about racing. We love watching it. Heck, if we could do it like you do, Matt, we would love being in the car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But when is it a thing of diminishing return?
Right.
That's what matters, man.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Hour number 2 coming up next.
Since the cold weather has set in, your car battery may not be performing properly. You need one that will hold up to the unpredictable Alabama weather. Interstate Batteries has exactly what your car needs to handle the winter months still ahead. The Megatron Plus battery has a high cold cranking amp rating that makes it perfect for battling car woes in winter. With Interstate, you'll hear this and not this. Call 1-800-CRANK-IT for a dealer near you. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable.
Camp Creek Auto and Truck are the people to call for emergency roadside service. 24/7, you can call 640-1558. They're staffed with skilled diesel mechanics who produce high-end mechanical results. With their extensive background in trucking and being on the road, they know exactly how important it is to get you back on the road as quickly as possible, so they're going to do just that. Call Camp Creek Auto and Truck for all your auto and truck needs. 205-640-1558.
Drivers and Danica, start your engines!
Pull those belts down tight one more time. Warm up those tires. Hit your marks and let's go racing, boys and girls. NASCAR, Indycar, Formula One, Formula E, NHRA, and local dirt track and drag strip racing talk. This is the fastest hour in radio.
Where'd you go? Where's your home? How'd you end up all alone? Can you hear me now? Hear me now.
Here's your host, Steve West and Dustin Harmer, with producer John Myers.
And Matt Nicholson as well. Thank you very much for joining us. Hour number 2 on the way, or actually underway now. Denny Hamlin got to celebrate in Victory Lane in his Can-Am duel following revealing that he will be at Joe Gibbs Racing for a while yet to come. Hamlin and his longtime sponsor FedEx have both signed extensions to remain with Joe Gibbs Racing. Length of the deal not revealed. That's become a constant here lately in NASCAR. Hamlin's only driven for Joe Gibbs in the Cup Series. His primary sponsor's been FedEx since he joined the organization, so they'll stick around for a while. Team Penske signed a driver-sponsor combo to an extension as well. Joey Logano and Shell Pennzoil going to be there through 2024.
What?
Yes. Wow. Logano's going to remain in the number 22. Shell Pennzoil in the deal confirmed they will be the primary sponsor for at least 30 races each year through the end of that deal. Logano's crew chief Todd Gordon signed a contract that is tied to Logano's. His current deal went through next season, but Roger Penske said he didn't want to take any chances. Regardless of what you personally think about Joey Logano, he has certainly proved that he has shined under a Team Penske banner. You may not like him, but kind of got to go with Roger Penske on this. You got a guy who's getting wins. He may be kind of a little punk sometimes, but
you seal him up.
It makes sense to seal him
sometimes?
up. Well, yeah.
Well, when his daddy gets involved.
Sure.
When his daddy gets involved, when somebody hurts his little baby boy.
Well, every time I have seen him,
Logano,
which granted hasn't been that many because I try to avoid watching him. But, I mean, he just looks like a little sissy boy throwing a tantrum.
Oh, there it is.
Wow.
It is. Nailed it.
Yep. Somebody's slamming the gloves in
We're
somebody's
going to leave
face.
that right there because I like that.
Yeah.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. officially set to start the 2017 season with a new crew chief. Roush Fenway Racing hired veteran crew chief Brian Patty to call the shots for the number 17. He'll replace Nick Sandler. Sandler's been reassigned within the company. Patty began as a crew chief in 1999 for Joe Nemechek at Nemco Motorsports. He's led his drivers over his time to 4 wins, 44 top 5, and 103 top 10 results in 313 races in the Cup Series.
All of which will not change except for the amount of races that he actually crew chiefs.
We might get the occasional top 10.
They're throwing everything they can at Ricky Stenhouse Jr. to get something done over there, and it's not working.
And unfortunately, and I hate to say this because I think Trevor Bayne is actually a good guy, legitimately good guy.
Right.
What's Trevor Bayne done since he won the 2011 Daytona 500?
Nothing.
Look at Roush Fenway right now.
They're a mess.
They are an absolute disaster with the likes of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Trevor Bayne, Ryan Reed.
Yeah.
And
the best choice that they ever made was Darrell Bubba Wallace Jr., and unfortunately, they've never done anything with him.
Yeah, and that's the biggest problem is that they haven't done anything with him yet. That's untapped talent right there.
Yeah.
I guarantee you put him in that 17 Ford, and he will get something done with it over top of Stenhouse.
Yeah.
Stenhouse is going to go down as one of those guys that should be only in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah,
sad to say, but true. Sad to say, but true.
I don't disagree with that.
We've talked about it several times. Guys hit a certain spot, a level, and that's where they're comfortable.
Yeah.
Elliott Sadler, awesome in the Xfinity Series. Moves up to the Cup Series, doesn't go well. Goes back to the Xfinity, awesome.
Yeah.
Sam Hornish Jr., same way.
Right.
That's going to be Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He's going to have to go back down to the Xfinity Series at some point, and that's where he's going to stay.
Who's to say Trevor Bayne isn't the same way?
And that may be true.
You know, but the difference, I think, between Trevor Bayne and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is the fact that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has been giving way more chances than Trevor Bayne. I will say that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rick Ware Racing, easy for me to say, has a sponsor, at least for a few 2017 races this coming year. They've signed Bubba Burger to be an associate sponsor for the entire 36 race point schedule. They're also going to be on the hood of the number 51 Chevrolet SS for several races. The actual number not revealed, nor is the slate of races, but one would assume that since that company is also the official burger of Auto Club Speedway in California, that they'll probably be the primary sponsor there. Forbes magazine has ranked the Monster Energy Cup Series by value of team. I don't think it'll shock anybody to find out that Hendrick Motorsports is the top valued team.
Nope.
Worth $350 million. Number 2, Joe Gibbs Racing, $225. Stuart Haas Racing, $180 million. Richard Childress Racing, $470 million. Roush Fenway Racing sits at $150 million. Rest of your top 10 in order: Team Penske, Chip Ganassi Racing, Richard Petty Motorsports, Furniture Row Racing, and sliding in at number 10 is Front Row Motorsports. Hendrick Motorsports, remember, worth $350 million.
You got to do it like this.
Yes, $1 million. Front Row Motorsports, with their laser, is valued at $22 million. You mentioned it. I had to do it.
It was a hat trick.
Thank you. Pocono Raceway has announced a schedule change for their second race of this coming season. Coming up in July, they're going to attempt to hold the Monster Energy Cup qualifying and the race on the same day. Pennsylvania 400 weekend going to be July 28th through the 30th. The change means that all 3 series running the Tricky Triangle that weekend are going to be featuring qualifying and the race on the same day. It all starts Friday. Monster Energy Cup Series will get practice. Camping World Truck Series will get practice. ARCA will qualify. ARCA will race. Saturday, Monster Energy Cup Series will practice. Camping World Truck Series will qualify and then race. And then on Sunday, Monster Energy Cup Series qualifies and then races. Qualifying Sunday takes place noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central Time. They've moved the race back to 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central.
What do you think about that?
I do not like it.
Okay,
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Why don't you like
Why?
Because of, for a race day to me, you need to be focused solely on your race. Just for me, and that's speaking from sitting in a seat. I don't want to have to go up worrying about, okay, I've got to qualify and hope to God I make this race.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm in that position, okay, I hope I make the race, So I've wasted half of my Sunday worrying about making a race when all I should be worried about is being in the show.
That being said, do you think this becomes a trend?
Yes. I don't like it.
Our days are going to get way long at Talladega.
I think it is.
Yeah, maybe.
And I told somebody this the other day, within 3 years.
Maybe so.
I see it happening at
That wouldn't surprise me. And we have seen something similar before. not necessarily in qualifying, but we've seen on a couple of occasions, or I have at the very least. I don't know whether you were there for it, but I have seen where we had to run 2 races on a Sunday because it got rained out on a Saturday.
I have.
Yeah.
I have.
That's not fun.
We were running that.
That's a long day.
I think that was
we were running in the dark.
First year that I was down here.
Maybe so.
I think it was the
Might have been
Xfinity and the Cup Series.
So was that 12 or 11?
I think. I got down here in 2012. I came down for 2012. Fall.
You came down for 2012. So fall.
I moved
2012.
in 2013.
Was it the fall 2012 race.
The
that I'm
right.
thinking of?
What I remember. The one I remember. The last one was I think it was 2012.
Yeah,
because the
maybe.
Nationwide Xfinity Busch, whatever you want to call it, they still had the old style bodies.
Right.
Because I remember Keselowski won the race that day.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think it was 2012.
And they said
I don't think I was here for that one.
They said you can't race after dark at Talladega.
Yeah, they've never. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we found out different.
When you look at a whole pack of cars and you can only see one because it's bright yellow and pink.
Right. To the Xfinity Series news, Casey Mears got a bit of a raw deal in my mind and in your mind.
Yes.
When he was ousted from Germain Racing's number 13 Cup car following the 2016 season in favor of Ty Dillon. But Mears, while not full-time, is going to be driving this season. Longtime sponsor Geico coming along for the ride as the auto insurance company will pair with Mears and Biaggi Denbest Racing for 12 races this coming up year in the number 98 Ford Mustang in the Xfinity Series. Geico will be on the hood as the sponsor for all 12 of the events. I would love to see them team up and actually decide to do some more. And that, I don't know whether the door's shut on that, but I think if he really performs well in the races he's in, Geico's hand might almost be forced.
Pretty much.
For one, I was very, very pleased to see Geico stand with Mears.
Yes.
Because that inadvertently says, hey, we know you got shafted at Germain.
Sure.
So we're going to stand behind you.
Right.
Well, no one wants to put associate themselves with the Dillon name anyway.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, in a lot
But
of ways.
but I agree with that. I do like the fact that Geico has stayed with Casey.
Yep.
He's been with them forever.
Sure.
He's
They
built
came
up
into
For a
NASCAR
long
together.
time. Yeah, long
Yeah,
time.
Effectively.
and when he came over from RCR over to the 13 camp, when he was driving the 07 Jack Daniels Chevy at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and then he comes over, and they've been with him since.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
think it's
it's great to see that, and that's what we've seen a lot of sponsors actually be a lot more loyal to the driver rather than to the team.
True.
And then there's this story. Go ahead, real quick.
Here's another theory, too. That 98 car that he's going to be driving is affiliated with Petty.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Does he, if he really knocks it out of the park, let's use that term, and has a
Step back
stellar
up next
12
year,
years,
maybe with Petty, because he's got that charter he's going to have to do something with next year.
Does he
gotta
go
get
to
the
the 44?
44?
Yeah, it's
He's got that
possible.
44.
It's possible. Richard Childress Racing and Menards Home Improvement Stores have announced, to nobody's surprise, a contract extension going to mark a 5th year for the pairing to serve as a primary sponsor on the number 2 Chevrolet Camaro, and it'll be on the hood when Paul Menard, and Ben Kennedy are driving. It'll also appear on the hood of the number 33 Chevrolet Camaro for some select 2017 races. Driver Brandon Jones there. Menards and Richard Childress Racing have been partners for years now because of Paul Menard, who is the son of the founder of Menards Home Improvement Stores, which is Wisconsin-based. And
Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin.
Cheeseheads.
I've been in one from visiting friends in Iowa.
Never been in one.
It's because you have to really search for them. They're really kind of up in Midwest and Plains area. With all due respect, I wasn't as impressed as I was with a Home Depot or a Lowe's.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I just wasn't. Camping World Truck Series news. ThorSport Racing have announced they've re-signed sponsor Safelite Auto Glass. Last year, that sponsor was on the hood of the truck driven by Rico Abreu, but Abreu didn't re-sign to drive for ThorSport, or ThorSport didn't re-sign him. Depends on who you're listening to when you talk about it that way. Safelite's now going to sponsor Ben Rhodes in the number 27 Toyota Tundra. Earlier this week, a new team announced they've entered the picture in the truck series, COP Motorsports, COPP. They've announced that they have bought the assets of Contreras Motorsports. That team fielded the number 71 truck in 2016. COP's changing the number. It'll be 83. They're going to stick with Chevy Silverados, though. They've also announced they've signed a Pennsylvania driver, Todd Peck. He actually was in the race last night. Beyond last night, though, we don't know. They say they're full-time, but we don't know whether Todd Peck's their full-time driver or if they'll use a rotating group of them. And finally, Waters Motorsports has announced they've signed Corbin Forrester to run the entire 2017 truck schedule, announced they have a sponsor for the first 2 races of the year, Daytona last night and Atlanta next week. Advanced Medical Labs beyond that. We'll have to wait and see.
He's going to run the entire 2017 truck schedule, but they only announced sponsorship for 2 races.
Yes, and one of those was last night.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Should be. Martinsville Speedway officials have announced that their lighting project for the short track is complete.
Yes.
Cost them $5 million. It includes 19 poles put up around the facility, all topped with LED lighting. Full test was performed last Tuesday, and it marks a milestone for Clay Campbell. Campbell's the grandson of the track's founder, H. Clay Earls. Martinsville Speedway has hosted a NASCAR race every year since NASCAR was created in 1949. They're the only track on the schedule now that can say that. There will be an official lighting ceremony this coming Thursday. Monster Energy Cup Series will run under the lights for the first time October 29th. It'll be a race that will start in the daylight and end at night.
It's on my birthday. It's going to be on my birthday. That's a great birthday present. Thank you, Martinsville Speedway.
Happy birthday, Dustin Hall.
Yeah, there you go. I like that.
Coming up a little later this year, the third entry into the Disney Pixar Cars franchise. The makers trying to get back to the roots of the movie, because I'm here to tell you Cars 2 went so far off the rails it was stupid.
I didn't see that one.
Don't. You'll regret it.
Okay.
Lightning McQueen and his stock car racing career is going to be back to the central focus. Several NASCAR personalities going to be featured in the upcoming film as well, set for release June 16th. Among them, 2016 Sunoco Rookie of the Year Chase Elliott. He will be the voice of a rookie in the film, named Chase Racelot.
Oh, gosh.
Welcome to Disney Pixar, because it gets worse.
Oh, gosh.
Ryan Blaney will voice Ryan Laney with the nickname of Inside, so Ryan Inside Laney. Daniel Suarez will be Daniel Swervez.
I like that. I like that. Swerve.
Yep.
Yeah.
Daryl Bubba Wallace will be Bubba Wheelhouse. Daryl Waltrip will reprise his role from the first film as the retired racer turned television commentator Daryl Cartrip. Fox Sports' Shannon Spake was pretty much portraying herself. They didn't say what her name is going to be, but she'll be grabbing big interviews. Mike Joy is back as Mike Joy Ride, a lead commentator for the races. Former president of Charlotte Motor Speedway, Humpy Wheeler, will be voicing the Team Dynaco owner, Tex Dynaco. Jeff Gordon will be voicing Jeff Gorvette, a just retired racer. Richard Petty returns as the King. He played that in the original Cars, but he's going to be a crew chief in this film for his real-life son, Kyle Petty, who will voice Cal Weathers.
Where did that one come from?
To me, Cal is a little bit of a nod to Talladega Nights.
Cal Naughton.
I don't know where they got the Weathers part, but that's what hit me right offhand. And finally, Ray Evernham is going to voice Ray Reverham. He's going to be crew chief for the character of Jackson Storm. I'm kind of led to believe that Jackson Storm is going to be the main opponent for Lightning McQueen this coming movie.
I mean, everybody else has really cool names. You know, Daryl Cartrip, Mike Joyride, Ryan Laney. And then you've got this Kyle Petty character out there, Cal Weathers. Everybody else, their name makes sense. You know, Ray Reverham. They all make sense. Kyle Petty, they just picked a name out of a hat and said, we'll just go with this.
And again, you think about it. Cal Weathers, Jackson Storm. Those are the two that really don't have a whole lot of car intimation to them. And it's weird.
I'm excited. I actually enjoyed the first one.
I did too.
Apparently, I won't watch the second one now.
No, don't. It's a waste of time. It's horrible.
But this one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. Yeah. To the Verizon IndyCar Series, the Lear Corporation has signed on to be the presenting sponsor of the Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix at Belle Isle, the season's only doubleheader event. Lear Corporation's based out of Detroit and a leading global supplier of automotive seating and electrical systems, so don't confuse them with the maker of the private aircraft, okay? Tickets for the Chevrolet, as it is officially now known, the Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix presented by Lear, are on sale now through DetroitGP.com. Using KV Racing technology and equipment that he's bought from the team that just folded, that we mentioned just last week. KV Racing is no more. Juncos Racing has announced he's set to field an entry for this year's Indy 500 Memorial Day weekend. Juncos Racing has become a power in the Indy Lights series, but this is Ricardo Juncos' first foray into being an owner in the top series. Hasn't announced which manufacturer, Honda or Chevrolet, that he'll work with. Didn't state who he would tap to drive for this one-car operation, said that it will come soon. But there's been a lot, ever since he announced that he bought that equipment, there's been a lot of people that have been talking about this is how that Mazda road to Indy is supposed to work. You're supposed to start at the bottom level, whether you're driver or owner, work your way up through the system, and eventually become a driver or an owner in the Verizon IndyCar Series.
Right.
And Juncos is doing it.
Right, yeah.
We'll see if he becomes a power. That's the question. In the meantime, he will continue to field that 2-car operation in the Indy Lights Series. All of this is based out of a brand new 40,000 square foot facility in Indianapolis, which is effectively in the shadow of the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So he's in the right spot, no doubt about that.
Oh, definitely.
An IndyCar test held earlier this week at Homestead Miami Speedway. Chevrolet invited along Ricky Taylor. That might not mean much to you at the beginning, but when you realize Taylor was part of the team that won the Rolex 24 Hours at Daytona a couple of weeks ago, you realize Chevy was basically giving Taylor a very unique thank you for his work. Taylor spent some time in the number 1 Chevy-powered Team Penske ride that's Simon Pagenaud's for the year. Reports said that Chevrolet and their parent company General Motors worked with Penske to give Taylor that thank you drive for his 7 wins over the past 4 years in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship Series. He teamed with his brother Jordan, the aforementioned Jeff Gordon, and sports car legend Max Angelelli to claim the overall win at the Daytona Endurance Race this year. The question was, would it lead to something? Taylor said only this, quote, "It can't hurt to be able to drive an IndyCar and show what I can do." Times weren't released, but if they were kept at all, but nobody told him anything. But he did get a lot of praise from Simon Pagenaud, Juan Pablo Montoya, and Elio Castroneves for his ability to adjust to the IndyCar. That can't necessarily escape Roger Penske, I wouldn't think.
Oh, no. I wouldn't think either.
So we'll find out whether that happens. We've talked car swaps before. Jeff Gordon and Juan Pablo Montoya did it, I think it was, 2000, 2001? Back when Montoya was running Formula One?
Something like that, yeah.
And then, or IndyCar, I forget which one it was.
Formula One.
Was it Formula One at the time? And then Tony Stewart and Lewis Hamilton did it at Watkins Glen. And we just had it, who was it? Was it Jamie McMurray?
Jamie McMurray, Scott
Dixon, Talladega, and Barber. Well, we're about to get another one. James Hinchcliffe and Robert Wickens going to see how each other drives. The two drivers are both Canadian. They're good friends. Been working with their respective team owners, Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports and the HWA team, which is in the German-based sports car series DTM. Wickens is set to drive the IndyCar coming up at Sebring, Florida, February the 28th. Hinchcliffe will be on a plane to Italy, drive the DTS entry at the Vallelunga circuit just outside of Rome, Italy. They'll drive that car March 17th. Both drives will take place during open tests for both series as they prepare for the 2017 season. I can imagine, because they call it their version of a stock car series, but it's really not. It's really more like the sports car series that we see run out at Talladega. The Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge, I think, is what it is. Those cars look a lot more like those than they do NASCAR stock cars, to me.
I think that, yeah. I thought those DTM cars were more like the Australian V8 supercars.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to look at it, but I was trying to think of something that people might be
realize
much more familiar with than that. I
you.
realize the Australian V8 supercars have run here in America at Circuit of the Americas, but they're not prevalent here, unfortunately.
I got you.
Jay Fry, who's IndyCar's president of competition, has his eye on the future, thinking about what he wants in the 2018 racer and beyond. This is the last year that we're going to be looking at the racer of this particular generation. Fry said that while it may not be full scale, there's going to be something to unveil at the Indy 500 this year that'll bring fans of the series an idea of what they can expect from the 2018 racer. Fry said, quote, "Our intention is to do something at Indy, but we don't want to deter from the performance of the car. Getting things ready to go test versus unveiling. We'll unveil something at Indy, I'm sure, whether it's an actual car or the final renderings or whatever. Ultimately, we would love to have a car, but we want to get all the performance criteria done before we get to that point." Meantime, Firestone is the official tire provider of the sport, said that they're waiting to hear from IndyCar officials before they announce how their tires will work into the new racer. They're not going to back out, but they just don't know enough about the car yet to know what they may need to change. This is something Pirelli's dealing with, or dealt with, from last year into this year because of the increased downforce and the request for the wider tires in Formula One. Pirelli's been trying to change things up as well. I don't know whether they're asking, like IndyCar or like Formula One is, for wider tires seeking more downforce. But here's the thing. They've been very quiet about that. They haven't told anybody about that. The one thing that I do like about it is, from everything that we have been told, they're going to clean up the look of the cars. Instead of having all those aero things that separate the Chevrolets from the Hondas, which kind of, to me, it may help on the aero side of things, but it just kind of makes the car look like it just has too many add-ons.
It's over-adding.
It's like this, 16, 17-year-old kid who finally got the Honda Civic, so what does he do? He puts a fart can muffler on it and puts all these wings on it and goes, "I've got me a rocket."
Yeah, man, look at me. I got rockets all over the place,
Yeah,
and I got all these cool little gizmos and gadgets, and my car is cool, but I can't get in it. I got to go through the sunroof.
Pretty much.
Good point. Good point.
You know, and it sounds like an over-rev lawnmower. Sorry.
Yeah,
But-
you can hear him coming from the junction to here.
Yeah. And
So,
here's the thing. If, I could give him a head start going down the hill and I'd still beat him to the stop sign. But the thing about it for me is if we can clean up the look of the car.
Yeah.
For IndyCar, to me, it's going to be a much better looking vehicle and it'll present better on television. I get it. They're doing well television-wise, but if the car looks better, I think people will...
Yep.
For some reason, it just seems too messy.
Yeah.
Just way too much on it.
Yeah, way too much.
And then we'll get to Formula One's cars, which they're starting to unveil in just a minute. But in Formula One news, there's a new movie being worked up about the life of Bruce McLaren, the man who started the McLaren car company and racing team. He began racing in his native New Zealand at the age of 14. Man, now we call that old. 6 years later, made his Formula One debut, finished fifth in that year's German Grand Prix. Think about it.
Wait a second. If 14's old, what am I then?
No, I'm starting your racing career at 14. We call that old.
Yeah.
Nowadays, yeah.
Man, if I started it
We
now,
call
I'd
that a
be-
late start
I would
racing
be
now. That's
ancient.
amazing. That's amazing to
Give
me.
me a car, I'll start up right now.
Oh,
36.
heck, yeah. If you
Let's
give me
go.
a car, I'm 48. I'll turn 49 in August. You give me a car, I'll start right now.
Let's rock and roll.
I got no problem with that, but still.
Can I put all kinds of gizmos and gadgets on my car?
Only if you're an Indycar.
Sweet.
But at 20, made his Formula One debut, finished fifth at that year's German Grand Prix, and the very next year, 1959, became the youngest winner in Formula One's history, won the United States Grand Prix held at Sebring in Florida at 22. I think he is still the youngest driver to ever win, but there's two guys out there right now that are younger than he that could challenge that. Max Verstappen, most notably.
Yep.
Roger Donaldson's working up the new film. It's got the title McLaren. According to the British newspaper The Guardian, it's set to hit movie theaters in Britain soon. If and when it will make it to the United States, not known at this time, but hopefully it will come soon because I'd like to kind of learn more about Bruce McLaren because his life was taken way too early.
Yes.
Yep.
Speaking of McLaren, they, along with most of their other Formula One teams, have unveiled their 2017 racers. With it, McLaren debuted a new paint scheme. They chose to drop their paint scheme of the past few years, and they're going with a new orange and black look. It's a look kind of what McLaren had when it first came onto the Formula One scene as a team. If you look at it from directly above, orange is the primary color, runs right over the top of the racer, while black adorns the sides of it. Most of the other teams kept the basic look of their 2016 paint schemes, some slight modifications for the new look of the racers. One of those changes is a shark fin. It extends off of the air intake above the driver's seat. It's a long blade extending back almost to the rear wing. Mercedes appears to be about one of the few teams that's not going with that aero add-on. It is such an odd look. Have you seen this?
Yes, I did.
I did.
It is. I hope that it helps the way that they think it's going to help, but I don't know. Is it's going to be that big of an assist? Is it?
No, I don't think it will be.
It's going to be the difference between awesome and not awesome.
And I applaud Mercedes for not going with it.
Yeah, I agree.
I applaud them.
I haven't seen the new Haas F1 yet. I'm hoping that they don't go with it, but Ferrari did. And considering their technical alliance with Ferrari, it almost seems likely that they would copy Ferrari.
Now, what if it works, guys? What if it works?
What is it going to do? Is it going to give you side-to-side yaw stability?
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, I can't think of any other reason why you would put that there.
I would have to research it more, yeah.
It looks super cool.
To you, does it?
No. I'm just saying, I'm looking for something.
Yeah.
I'm reaching deep, Steve.
Keep reaching because I don't think you've quite reached it yet. When we come back, we'll talk to Rowdy. Who knows? Maybe Mark from the ARCA Racing Series.
Yeah.
And the late model Mark show.
Somewhere.
Maybe.
Throwing chips.
Possibly.
You're listening to the fastest hour in radio on Superstation 101.
Since the cold weather has set in, your car battery may not be performing properly. You need one that will hold up to the unpredictable Alabama weather. Interstate Batteries has exactly what your car needs to handle the winter months still ahead. The Megatron Plus battery has a high cold cranking amp rating that makes it perfect for battling car woes in winter. With Interstate, you'll hear this and not this. Call 1-800-CRANK-IT for a dealer near you. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable.
Camp Creek Auto and Truck has an extensive background in trucking and being on the road. They understand if you're not rolling, you're not banking. They've got skilled diesel mechanics that are focused on one thing, getting you back on the road in a properly maintained vehicle. From DOT inspections and compliance to on-site trailer and truck repair, when you're searching for a reliable, affordable truck and auto service center in Alabama, Camp Creek is the place. I encourage you, give them a call today, 205-640-1558, 205-640-1558.
Hey, this is ARCA Series driver Joey Jatine, and you're listening to the fastest hour in radio on your Superstation 101 WYDE.
Hey, welcome back into it. Final segment. Really? Already?
Yeah.
Wow. Of
I don't
this
feel like
weekend's
I've-
fastest hour in radio, it has flown by.
I don't feel like I've been up since 2 a.m.
No?
No.
I feel like I have. I don't know about you. Let's get into it here. We'll continue Formula One in a moment, but first things first, let's finally talk to both Rowdy and Mark. We'll talk about the ARCA Racing Series.
Hey, Mark got the right number this week.
Yes, he did.
All right.
Welcome back in. Mark, how are you, sir?
Dustin and Steve and Matt, I hope you guys are doing good too. Sorry I missed last week. I was trying.
We understand. We understand that you might have had the wrong number.
Well, that's what you get when you're out of town. We were down in Daytona enjoying the sights, and I must have had the wrong number. Sorry about that.
Hey, Mark, I think we're losing you.
Back in Chicago this weekend, or what's on your schedule?
Yeah, we're back in Chi-Town. It's cold, and we have snow on the ground this morning. I wish I was back south.
Enjoy that. Keep it.
Come on down here. We'll be happy to take you. Just don't bring the snow.
You bring the
Oh,
snow,
I
we
wouldn't
send you
be
back.
I wouldn't be that bad and send it down to you guys.
We appreciate that.
We're
very
enjoying
much.
81 degrees.
I was going to say they had like
Yeah.
78 yesterday. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And Rowdy's on the phone as well. Good morning, Rowdy. How are you, sir?
Hey, good morning. Doing great. You know, guys, it don't snow when it's 53 degrees in the early morning in Alabama, does it?
That's very true. You have got that correct. All right, let's talk about last weekend real quick. Austin Theriault out there. We talked about him a little bit last weekend, but, you know, he's walked in now. This is only his third career ARCA Series race. He's got 2 wins under his belt. Where has this kid been? Why hasn't he gotten a full-time ride before now?
I tell you, Austin's, you know, he was in the truck series last year and was involved in that accident, hurt his back. And Austin's going to drive a full season this year, and I'm pretty sure that Austin will land back into I'm thinking he's going to bounce into an Xfinity ride.
But looking at it from this year, and Rowdy, I'll start with you. Is Austin Theriault a legitimate championship contender, or is this 2 for 3 something of kind of an anomaly?
I believe he's a contender under Ken Schrader Racing.
Okay, Mark, you agree?
I have to agree, guys. I've seen Austin race for a few years now in the late model ranks, and he's always done very well. His accident put him back, and timing kind of threw things in the monkey wrench into his works. He's with a good team, a really good team. I think that's the championship this year. I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't happen.
Let's talk about the gentleman, unfortunately, that caused the race to end a little bit earlier than what ARCA had planned, and that's Justin Fontaine. Good guy, thumbs up after the pictures, all smiles, but he's going to be in a back brace for 3 months. Tell us a little bit about this guy. Mark, we'll go with you.
What a tough break. And you know what? Unfortunately, he's dealing with similar injuries that Austin Theriault had. So he'll recover. He'll be back. It just takes a little time. It's unfortunate, but unfortunately, those things do happen.
Kind of an up-and-comer, Rowdy. What do you know about his background?
You know, this kid, besides the wreck, he had a great race. I mean, he was doing pretty good moving up. But, you know, to deal with a back brace, I don't know, guys. Something's going on with these accidents where these drivers are getting their lower vertebrae injured. I don't know if NASCAR and ARCA's going to have to address that, but it seems to be a problem. That's what got Austin Skills out of the truck from last year, was a back injury also.
John, can we get you to turn the music down for us, please? There we go. Is it, and I understand that we've done a whole lot for, the safety of the drivers, putting the Hans device in there, which are, kind of keep their head and neck kind of settled, is maybe, I don't know whether it's maybe putting some sort of a bigger cushioning in the seat, or maybe putting the seat on some sort of shock absorbers or something like that. Would that help, do you think?
I think so, because, when you look at those drivers and what they're sitting in, that aluminum seat with about a half an inch thick padding, that's not a whole lot of padding, and they're sitting, about 8 inches off from the asphalt to the seat itself, so that it's low to the ground, and he took a big hit.
Yeah.
The Austin Crafton last time when he flipped over, that was a big lick, too.
Sure.
To flip and land back on your wheels.
We'll bring our resident driver in on this. What's, how can we deal with this? I mean, let's face it, it's not easy. These cars are not meant to have a whole lot of travel, obviously, so it's going to be a jarring thing to land there. What can be done? Is there anything that can be done?
Honestly, I don't think there is.
What about more padding,
Unless, possibly put another inch of padding around the seat. And I know that would be hard because that would consist of widening the aluminum base of the seats out.
Right.
You could always roll them up in bubble wrap.
Oh, yeah, that too.
No, that's what I'm serious. So, I mean, could you make the seat a little bit bigger, add a little bit more
and
cushioning,
stuff it with padding,
and really just get it?
Well, with those seats, I would say probably 90% of the seats that are made, the drivers will go and have their body. Have it
It'll
poured.
be cast to them.
It will be cast to their body. Okay. But to be able to get that more cast, therefore that'd be making wider aluminum bases, which would therefore incur more costs. Those full containment seats are not cheap.
It would incur more costs, but I think with the safety aspect, if you could increase the safety a bit more, if you can drop an egg off of a third-story floor, third floor, 3 floors up, and make a cradle where the thing will not crack.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could do that with a seat. I mean, it might be a little bit more, but what do you want to do? Do you want to have something that's a little bit cheaper and less padding?
In the long term, for the safety of your driver, if you're the team owner, you're thinking long term and the investment that you're putting into a driver. And I don't care what level you're on, ARCA, Formula One, anything in between, NHRA, doesn't matter to me.
Even down to my level.
Yeah, you're putting an investment into your driver. In your case, you're investing in yourself.
Exactly.
Would it not be worth for you to put a little more padding in there? But that brings us back to the question, and Mark, I'll throw it to you. Is more padding the end-all, be-all? Is that going to be the thing that might solve the whole problem?
I think maybe it's a small part of it, but and Matt maybe can answer this better than I can. Would there be room to enlarge the seat? Could you enlarge the seat and still fit it inside the car safely and comfortably for the driver?
In some cases, yes. In some cases, no.
Like your series,
it would depend on the size of the driver, would it not?
Exactly. Yeah.
Sure.
Driver size.
You really couldn't do a seat change, so to speak, when it comes to something like that. I mean, you basically have to build the car around the seat.
I would think, yeah.
But I mean, that would be a really good start point to start with the seat. But if you need to do a driver change, you can't.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one, and I just feel for Justin Fontaine, and I'm worried about the drivers that are in this situation.
Drivers to put in their seats when they get in and out, or there's a switch. It's not so much the seat is built to a certain specification, and then there's an insert conforming to the driver's body that's fitted into the seat, is there not?
Usually, yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know. Time's going to have to tell on this one. I feel for Justin Fontaine, and I was just trying to think, how could we avoid that in the future?
There's got to be something that could be done. I'm sure I'm sure people are actually working on it as we speak. People have probably already been working on it. They just haven't come up with something that's viable enough to be able to utilize for the series.
That may be true. All right, so what's next for the ARCA Racing Series, Rowdy?
Well, we're headed to Nashville Fairgrounds, historic Nashville Fairgrounds, which is April the 8th.
We might have to try and go there.
I'm looking at going on that road trip.
April the 8th.
I'm down.
Might have to go to that.
I got nothing going on.
Looking forward to seeing y'all there.
There you go, Rowdy. Mark, what were you saying?
I said it's an Indy evening, so after the show, jump in the car, drive up, and meet us at the track. We'd love to spend the day with you there.
I like it. That sounds like a plan.
I'm all about to go to Nashville.
That sounds like a plan. All right, we'll make plans on that. Mark, you guys on the air on Monday?
We are as always. Rowdy's got guests lined up. I'm not sure exactly who it is right now. I'll turn you back over to Rowdy for that.
There you go.
We'll be on 6 to 7 or 8 on Central or 7 to 8 Eastern time. So come join us. Go to Rowdy Maglite Racing website, and you'll be able to click the link and get to the show.
There you go. Rowdy, who's coming on this week?
Well, I'm waiting to confirm on a couple of guests, but, like last week we had the winner, Austin Tiff was on. Guys, since we started the show, there's been 21 ARCA races, and we've been fortunate enough to have 16 of the winners on the following Monday night. So,
And this year you're going for all of them, aren't you?
well, we had 15 last year. That's a hard standard to fight, but it would be great to get all of them.
Sure.
We've extended our hours from a 1 hour show to 2 hours, and we're talking little truck race and Xfinity on the second hour with
There you go.
Christina.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
Very good stuff. All right. Well, we'll look forward to it. We'll make sure that the link is at the very top of our Fastest Hour in Radio Facebook page so they can go directly to you Monday evening and check you guys out. Okay?
I'll have to go on the page, and I'll just pin it to the top of the page.
There you go.
There we
I like
go.
it. All right, guys.
All right.
Thanks so much. We'll be talking with you next week, and hopefully we'll have better news about Justin Fontaine and finding out that he is recovering. I know 3 months, but still, hopefully we'll get really good news on him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Thanks
guys.
lots, guys.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk with you next week.
Sounds good. Stay warm up there in Chicago. What'd you there, Mark?
We're trying. We're trying real hard.
Fire is your friend.
Yes, exactly. All right. Talk to you guys really soon. It's always good to talk to the both of them.
Take care, guys.
All right. Before we get back into everything, phone lines are open to you. 941-1011, toll free 866-551-9933. Dorothy checking in from Elkmont. Hi, Dorothy. How are you this morning?
Hey, all right. Yeah, a couple questions. I was wondering what was going to replace the Chevy SS. I heard they're not going to make it anymore after this year, what Jimmy would drive. And I was wondering, I could pick up on a program on the radio. There was one in the market over here, and they're not doing it anymore, out of Greenbrier, for the channel I Heart People. And, I can't pick it up on the radio anywhere, and it's always good to put the TV down and, put that on, or if you're out, have it on in the car.
Well, that's why we're here.
That's right.
That's right.
Well, no, I mean, to put the cup race on.
Oh, that's interesting. Huh.
Yeah, it's not on in the market anywhere.
Let's see.
Down near Talladega.
What's some?
I'm doing some looking right now there for you there, Dorothy.
While he's looking that up, at this point in time, Chevrolet, General Motors, they haven't even announced what's coming up next. They did say that this is the last year of the Chevrolet SS. It's between the Malibu and the Impala, but even Chevrolet hasn't announced which one it's going to be. John, you've predicted
Imp.
He's going Impala. I kind of agree because that's what they had before they brought the SS out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where they're going, but it's not confirmed yet, so we don't know just yet, okay?
Let me tell you what I heard. I heard at one time that the new police cars were going to be the Caprice, and they were bringing that back.
Well, the thing about the Caprice is that the Caprice police vehicle that they have out there is effectively an extended Chevrolet SS. So that's going to end as well. So they're going to have to figure out their new Chevrolet police pursuit vehicle, which is probably actually going to shift over away from the sedans and probably more towards the Tahoes, which a lot of the police departments are using these days. So if they're going to stay within there, they'll probably just stick with the Tahoes.
They're real expensive. The budget, they need to be like making truck buses.
It's actually kind of strange because dealing as I do with one of the boards that I'm on for the city of Alabaster, I happened to sit in during a meeting with the city council, and they were talking about having priced the Chevy Tahoe versus the Ford, the Edge?
Explorer.
Explorer, thank you. And the Dodge Charger, and it turned out the cheapest of the three to outfit fully and buy the vehicle itself was the Chevy Tahoe.
All right.
I know, sounds weird, doesn't it?
You guys going to have tickets to give away for Talladega coming up later? Maybe?
We're working on that.
Working
We're
on
hoping
some stuff.
so. We're hoping so.
All right.
All right, so where is that at?
Fox channel? The Fox Network?
Well, I can't find anything. That's true. But I was going to give her, if you want the radio link, you can listen to MRN.
Yeah.
But I can't find anything for the TV.
Yeah, I mean, the radio.
Radio-wise?
Yeah,
oh, well, my screen just went. There it went.
I was trying to get it on over there.
No, we're gonna get you squared away. Oh, it's showing me a map.
Ah, there it is.
That's what it is. Thank you, MRN.
Yeah.
Where are you located, Dorothy?
Elkmont.
I'm in Elkmont, and the closest thing I picked up on Montana Mountain is something coming out of Tullahoma, And I know there's something down there near Talladega.
Yeah, WTDR is in Talladega.
Yeah, but in between, out and everywhere, with my radio signals that I can pick up, like in the car or here at the house, within a 100-mile radius. So that's about it.
Let's see.
Keep going up here.
Okay, she's up near Athens, Madison. What do you got up in Huntsville there, brother?
Wow. There's only one up there. There's none up towards Florence or Athens or Muscle Shoals or anything like that. There's one over, but it's an AM stick. It's an AM stick. It's a AM 1050 out of Scottsboro. That's about it. But you
That's very
should.
low power. I can't even pick that up.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to pick that up.
Check Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, now I got to go check another state.
Sure.
Okay, hold on.
Since she's right up there on the border.
Let me go to Tennessee. Let me see. We're gonna get you squared away.
Tell you what, keep listening to us, Dorothy. We're gonna find you one, okay?
Yeah.
Thanks.
All
I
right.
doubt it.
Yeah, well,
No,
we'll work on it.
we're
for you,
gonna
okay?
get it.
We'll figure something out. Thank you, Dorothy.
We'll call MRN.
That's right. We're going to find it. Pulaski, Franklin, Nashville area. Maybe something that she can catch from.
I'm looking.
From that area, maybe on a rim shot.
Looking.
While you're looking back to the news here with Fernando Alonso, he's told media he's going to make his ultimate decision on whether to continue his Formula One career following the August break. Two-time world champion who was in the third and final year of his deal with McLaren said he wanted to see how the 2017 rules were going to play out before deciding whether he was willing to extend his run in the sport. When the media pressed him about whether he's going to stay in Formula One, he replied that he would not begin thinking about that until around September, saying, quote, "I will see. It's a question that I will answer after the summer break. Around September is a good time to start thinking and sitting with yourself and starting to decide what to do." All right, sir. What do you think?
Okay. On this part, right?
Yes.
What we're talking about? Or
No.
what? Oh,
There.
okay.
What do you found? You're on the map.
If the map would stop moving, that'd be fine. It would help so very much. Okay. So we've got. There we go. Here you go, Dorothy. Got you squared away. There's an FM stick up there, 105.5.
Okay.
That is in. The map is zooming.
Oh, okay.
Fayetteville. That's
Yeah.
coming out of Fayetteville.
That's not too far over the line there. You should be able to catch that one, I hope, Dorothy. So
Yeah.
check 105.5, see what you can do there. All right? Both Toto Wolff and Niki Lauda have extended their contracts to be with Mercedes in Formula One at least through the end of the 2020 season. That date is very significant because that's also the end of the current commercial rights agreement with Formula One that was worked up by the former head of the sport, Bernie Ecclestone. For 2021 and the years beyond that, your new commercial rights holder, the American-based Liberty Media, going to have to work up new contracts with the teams. As for Mercedes, Wolff and Lauda are stakeholders, and it made the end of that contract date even that much clearer. Mercedes has actually said that depending on how this new rules package goes, they might actually be willing to step out of Formula One, and they haven't been in it that long. While they've been in it, they've certainly made some big splashes, obviously winning the last 3 Manufacturers' Cups, and with Lewis Hamilton 2 and then Nico Rosberg last year, the 3 straight Drivers' Cups. To think that they would step out so quickly seems like an odd move.
That would be hard to believe.
Yep. Racing Electronics, a company that we're familiar with out at Talladega, world leader in two-way communications products for motorsports, will continue as the official radio communications of the NHRA, signing a multi-year deal with them. Company provides all on-site rentals and sales, along with servicing options for radios that both teams and fans use. Shelby Development and their affiliated company, Monopoly Acquisitions, have announced they've expanded their portfolio of NHRA tracks. The company, which already owns Heartland Park in Topeka, Kansas, turning it into what Peter Clifford, the NHRA president, said that they've done such a great job with. They've now bought National Trail Raceway in Columbus, Ohio. Track's already an NHRA member facility, but according to Shelby Development CEO Chris Payne, quote, the plan is to continue to improve Heartland Park Topeka while completing the acquisition of National Trail Raceway by identifying and completing specific areas for facility improvements and introducing new events. National Trail has a long history in the NHRA. They opened in 1964, hosted names like Shirley Muldowney, Don Prudhomme, Bob Glidden, Tony Schumacher, many more through the years. They were actually the host of the NHRA Spring Nationals from 1972 through 2006. And while this year not hosting at the top level or the Mellow Yellow Drag Racing Series, they will host the subsidiary Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series, and they'll host specialty shows like the Super Chevy Show and Mopar Nationals. Mopar Nationals is kind of a fun thing. I was actually able to do that. God, it's hard to believe that's 21 years ago this year.
Woo!
But yeah, went to that Super Chevy show, much the same. You get all these guys from all around the country bringing their stuff in, and they get to run on the dragway. Really cool stuff. You get to see some really cool vehicles, stuff that you've never hardly ever seen before, or maybe even never seen before. You get some really kind of rare one-off, really old cars that, you know, there's only like 5 of them left in the world. So it's a lot of fun to go to shows like that.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see them come back, because I've seen highlights of the old National Trail, you know, long time ago with the likes of Shirley Muldowney. I'd love to see him get back up there and actually maybe get back onto the Mellow Yellow Drag Racing Series slate. It'd be good for them, I think.
It'd be extremely good.
Yeah, it really would. Of course, I would love to see more than just Atlanta down here. We got what, Atlanta and Charlotte, and then the Gator Nationals in Florida, and that's really about it for us, isn't it?
You got Bristol.
That's true, Bristol. So we got 4 down here. I'd love to see something closer to Birmingham, with all due respect.
Yeah, I would too.
You know,
I would partake in the NHRA race if it was in Alabama.
Gosh, I'd love to do that. It'd be fantastic.
I think we need a petition for it.
About the only one you could do the upgrades to make it feasible would be Montgomery.
You think?
It could be done.
It'd be worth a trip.
I know Montgomery has run an IHRA race, to my knowledge.
I had a buddy of mine that used to say that IHRA stood for the Illegal Hot Rod Association.
Illegal Hot Rod.
How hard is it to make a straight track?
That conforms to NHRA rules is something else entirely.
Okay, let me rephrase my previous statement. How hard is it to make a track conform to NHRA standards?
They get pretty specific. You can only have so much of a slope angle, so you have to do a lot of grading to it. You have to have X amount of space for runoff, X amount of space for the the wet box, all that kind of stuff. They've got parameters there that
it's not that hard. Still.
Well, if you're willing to put in the money for the landscaping of it effectively, the grading and all that kind of stuff, I mean, you could do it. The question is whether we could find anybody around here. Barber? Could we put a competition drag strip at Barber Motorsports Park?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
He's got the land.
Yeah, he's got plenty of land.
Yeah.
That could be done.
That Proving Grounds track that they built out behind the
we saw that day.
Yeah, we saw it under construction.
Yeah, we
last
saw the buildings under construction and stuff too.
When we were out at the last Verizon IndyCar Series race.
He's got the land to do it, and he would be the one to pull it off. I do believe.
Yeah, because with respect to our other bosses at the International Speedway Corporation, I don't think while they have the land to do it out there near Talladega Superspeedway and Talladega Short Track, I don't see it happening out there.
No. You'd have to tear up a lot out there to do that.
Yeah.
To go within their parameters, you probably have to lose some of the parking or something like that, or you'd have to put it someplace obscure.
Here's where late model Mark should be calling in.
Yeah,
I don't know where he is.
There would have to be a lot of dirt be moved out there.
Agreed. Yeah, I know that.
There
but
ain't dirt
still.
out there. There's clay.
Well, that's true. That's another good point.
If there was an NHRA facility to be put out there, the only place I could see it being put up, you would have to eliminate the north campground, because you got that long stretch. You could park haulers there. That's the first place that comes to mind.
So it'd basically be up there in that north parking lot next to
right next to I-20.
Yeah. Man, that would be a great backdrop.
It'd be kind of fun, actually, now that you think about it.
You know, they might have to build a wall. It's going to be a great wall.
I wouldn't.
They're going to put a
That's
wall.
That's the thing. I don't think I would.
Could you imagine the accidents on I-20 when somebody who loves NHRA, late model Mark, goes down the road and all of a sudden they see that and they go, oh, straight line racing. And they're going to have to.
The first time a top fuel or funny car hits the nitro and then you see all the
sure, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there'd be a crash.
They're going to have to put some sort of a wall out there.
Well, part of that would be taken care of by grandstands.
It would.
True.
To a degree, yes. But just
fun to do. Again, and this is no disrespect to our other bosses.
I mean, think about it.
I don't think it'll ever happen.
Talladega's got some big flagpoles out there along I-20. You can hang up the NHRA, Mellow Yellow, and all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're taking notes right now.
I hope so.
We need to talk to Russell.
Well, we got plenty of things to talk to Russell about. We'll just add this to the list. How's that?
So we were talking on the show the other day, and we just want to kind of throw this at you and see what you think.
Yeah, we think you ought to build yourself a drag strip that could host the NHRA.
No, we can't do it at the end. We have to mix it in there.
Yeah, it's
ever so slightly between everything else that we need to talk about. We just kind of throw that in there. It kind of catch them off guard. And then where he sits there like an hour later going, wait, what did they say?
Wait a minute. NHRA drag strip? Did I hear that?
Why am I thinking about the NHRA all of a sudden?
If there was one thing I could request at Talladega, lights.
Yeah,
lights,
that's not going to happen.
Here's the thing. We have heard from more than one source that it is not going to happen at Talladega. The amount of money that they invested in it at Daytona, I don't see it happening at Talladega.
Now, if they did like a Talladega Rising, so to speak, like they did at Daytona, then that would probably be a different
and here's
story.
the thing. At some point in time, they're going to have to.
Yeah, they're going to have to. I mean,
Okay.
it's almost it's a definite.
Yeah, you think about it. This is something that they're starting to do with all their tracks now. They've done it with Daytona. They've totally reworked Phoenix.
I wanted to go to Phoenix, but no.
There was one other one that was up there that
Richmond?
they were recently talking about. Richmond is due for an upgrade, but there was one that they were actually talking about doing some major work to, and I can't remember exactly which one it was. But but at some point in time, beyond just redoing the track surface, which they've done a fantastic job with, it's held up well since they repaved it in 2007.
Yeah.
And beyond doing the party deck and the new seats that they put in, which all look great, there's still more amenities so many more amenities now that you could put into Talladega by using Daytona as your template. Do you have to go necessarily as far? I don't think so.
No,
you
don't need to go as far as Daytona did. I mean, that was just like crazy.
But you can take a lot of the hints that you get from Daytona and you can implement them at a Talladega.
Yep. Take that and modify it, cut it in half. You could do the same thing.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, just something simple like they installed escalators. That's a simple thing.
Yeah.
I'd love to have an escalator up to the.
I'd like to have an elevator that didn't shake all the way up.
I kind of like that. It kind of wakes you up in the morning, gets you ready
Dude,
to go.
you freak out every weekend.
It's called terrifying.
Did you really just throw me under the bus?
You do.
Ow, man, that Goodyear hurt.
If he wouldn't have, I would have.
You sit over there and push buttons.
So, I mean, at some point in time, it's going to have to happen.
Yeah.
So while you're doing that, just build an NHRA track strip.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We just toss it in there in the middle of a conversation. They totally miss it until later on when they all of a sudden are thinking about NHRA for some reason. And why? Because the guys from the Fastest Hour in Radio said so.
That's right. And with that said, we're out of here. Have a great weekend. OT90 Coaches Show is next.
See ya!